that stuff that was going around about the Jamie Foxx special, on how he said in the special he says that.
Oh, that was just him riding the wave.
That was literally him piggybacking off of the Diddy stuff.
Yeah, you got to give everybody a reason to
tune in.
Yeah.
By the way, I tuned in. It was great. It was so good.
So wait, you just said that he did this solely so people would tune in.
I tuned in.
And then you tuned in.
And it was great.
And it was great.
It was great.
So you're endorsing?
I'm endorsing the Jamie Foxx special, yes. Huh. I'm used to Jamie Foxx being funny all the time, and this took me on a roller coaster wave of emotions. It was so good.
Did he pay you for this promo?
No, man. I just love Jamie.
No, I do too. He's a very talented man. I mean, his musical skills, his acting skills, his comedic talent. It's impressive.
It's impressive how he's able to be arrogant in an acceptable way where you're like, it's okay because he's Jamie Foxx.
I mean, he has the talent to be arrogant.
Right. No, but it's acceptable.
So, as an example, I can't play volleyball for shit.
You can't say volleyball.
It's bad.
You can't say volleyball for shit.
I can't. I mean, the sport and I do not get along.
Right.
I cannot be arrogant about it. Like, I'm tall, I'm athletic, I should be able to do that.
You should be really good at it.
Yeah, I can't do it.
What do you think it is?
I just don't have the coordination. I'm actually not a good basketball player either. It's like an inherently learned skill over time.
What, you think you developed that skill?
Apparently not, I guess. That's why I host a podcast now.
Welcome back to the #1 financial literacy podcast in the world.
Not hard when there's only two of them.
Yeah. Sitting next to me on my left, some may know him as the Jeff Goldblum of podcasting.
We're going old school.
Old school, yeah. For the listeners that have been around long enough, they know, yeah. Chris Nahibi.
That was one of the very first episodes I did by myself.
Jeff. You called yourself the Jeff Goldblum of podcasting.
The backstory here is that Ben Yang, a.k.a. Ben Baller.
I can't get no introduction. That's cool.
Sitting next to me, my partner in time, the one and only Saied Omar, a.k.a. the Fat Albert of podcasting.
Come on, man.
Hey.
That was that guy. You forgot.
He's not here anymore. He's on paternity leave. Indefinite paternity leave.
It's the Barry White of podcasting, also known, a.k.a. Mr. Uchiwali Wali.
Mr. Uchi Bang Bang.
Mr. Uchi Bang Bang. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, my man.
That out of the way.
And no one behind the ones and twos.
Yeah, he's not there anymore.
Yeah.
What's his name again?
We don't know.
I don't know.
It's
he
done.
was here. That one guy.
The guy that used to be here.
Wasn't he on Fiverr that we got him? He not only does he not listen to the show, but like when I tag him on stuff now as a collaborator, he doesn't respond. He hasn't accepted one.
Oh, he really?
Oh yeah, he doesn't repost our content. Nothing.
Oh, bro, he wants a clean break.
He's like it's not a breakup. I need some space. And then he just went dark on you. We've been ghosted.
Oh,
the relationship's over.
It's over.
Yeah, he doesn't. Did we work him too hard?
Maybe, but it's okay.
Anyway, so Ben Ballard used to do that on the show, and he used to have an intro, and that was like my homage to him.
Oh,
because we pay homage to the Mind Pump.
The Mind Pump guys with the panels.
Yeah, so it's more than the panels. The entire studio setup.
Oh yeah.
The entire show. Pretty much everything here belongs to Mind Pump.
Yeah,
but yeah, you get the point.
Right.
So that came from that. But okay, so wild day in the markets. We'll get to that.
Big day. It was Fed Day.
Yeah, it was FOMC giving you the FFOMC today. FFOM. I can't spell.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of caffeine.
Right. They big day for the FOMC. They had their meeting and they made some decisions today.
So to give you perspective of the week, today is Wednesday the 18th. On the first day of the week, on Monday, we had S&P Global Services PMI data came out, right? Then on November, after our little aperitif there, then on Tuesday, we had the November retail sales data come out. And then yesterday, Wednesday, the FOMC had the first day of the Fed interest rate discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, obviously the decision came out today.
Right.
And the decision, as much as you and I were critical of it, you felt that it was going to happen, and I was very concerned that this was the first time I felt very uncomfortable.
Well, to your point, to give you a little bit of credit here, the question that we were actually discussing...
Oh, yeah, give it to me.
Give it to you. Was whether it would have been appropriate or not.
Slower.
Yeah.
Slower.
Yeah. There's a difference between whether if the decision was made based on whether it was appropriate or not versus warranted or not versus what they actually did.
It's not the size of the cut, Saied.
Yes.
It's how you use it.
It's right. Exactly.
And this one may have been used poorly.
I mean, we'll never know. I think of that Kanye West, right? Everybody wants to know what I would have done if I didn't win.
I guess we'll never know. So just to shore up the rest of the week, tomorrow will be Q3 GDP data. Then you'll also have, actually tomorrow and Thursday as well, you'll have existing home sale data. And then finally on Friday, you'll have PCE inflation data, which is a big print that I'm sure the FOMC would have liked to have had before their decision, but they didn't. So let's give you some color. Let's walk you in slowly, because it's not the size of the cut, it's how you use it. Let's ease it in there.
Okay.
Today, the Fed funds rate was dropped 25 basis points, or 0.25% if you're uninitiated, dropping the Fed funds rate from 4.25 to 4.5%. But the big news, the talk of the town, the savory little tidbits that you soak up with the bread of the meal, was the rhetoric that the FOMC dropped in addition to this rate cut. Because the rate cut, as you said on the previous show, was largely expected. Chicago Mercantile Exchange, World Interest Rate Probability, everybody had predicted this to almost 100% probability.
Because the Fed and all the FOMC members had laid the groundwork and left all the tea leaves for everybody to read. So the market was baking in at a 94%, expectation that they were going to cut.
Yeah, it's a big change. So we saw the FOMC go from 4 expected potential cuts down to 2 next year.
Oh, yeah.
So a big pivot in what they think the market needs as far as easing of Fed monetary policy.
Right. So what Chris is talking about here is this was one of those meetings where, after, in addition to the meeting, the Fed releases their summary of economic projections, where in that report, it lists out, how many of the FOMC members believe the rate should be where it is today, known as the dot plot. And it also lays the groundwork and the expectation of what you can expect to see down the road. And that just means what they expect to see as of today for next year and the following year. Prior to today, the expectation was that by the end of next year, the Fed funds rate would come down to 3.5%. Just for everyone as like a high level, that would be a full percentage point lower than where we are today. So at the most, 4 potential rate cuts out of 8 meetings.
25 basis points each.
Right. There's only 8 meetings a year, right? So that would mean at least half of those meetings there'd be cuts. Now they've adjusted that expectation to only 2.
For a total of 50 basis points, most likely.
Most likely. And now, theoretically, they could do all 50 basis points at once, but given the rhetoric that we heard today, that's probably not going to happen. And you shouldn't expect it to happen till later on in the year.
So I took the liberty of looking up the current probability of rate cuts going into 2025. This is a very special Christmas episode, so Merry Christmas to all of you. Happy holidays for those of you who don't celebrate Christmas. And, for January, you get a 6% probability of a rate cut in 2025.
Not happening, Chief.
Yeah, pretty low. That's as close to you're never going to get this as they could possibly get.
Right.
March, it does go up to 42%. The May meeting has a 49% probability of a rate cut. And in June, 6 months into 2025, you finally have your greater than 50% probability, 63% probability of a rate cut. It's only for 25 basis points, by the way. And in December of next year, 1 year from now, 37% probability of a rate cut. So the market is very uncertain.
And it was very unhappy with this decision. And I actually wanted to ask you this live on the show.
Little bait me question. All
intentionally, no, because I'm actually curious. Because if the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and the World Interest Rate Probability from Bloomberg all had expected at a 90%, 94, 95% chance that there was going to be a rate cut. And then the Fed decides to, in fact, cut rates by 25 basis points.
Right.
How does the market then, why is there that they were signaling to everyone we will be cutting rates, and then we experienced a day like we did today where the Dow went down 1,100 points.
Yeah, and so
which is massive for everybody out there.
It was a massive swing day. And if you look at the stock market ticker, I like to think of the stock market as red and green, right? Red, bad day, green, good day. There really is no in between.
There you go.
And you can see mostly red or mostly green if you want to try to find an intermediary position. But today was definitely a red day. Definitely a day that'll go down as a memorable one. And we'll get into some of the statistics as to why a little bit later on in the show. But to answer your question, it goes back to what we said on the previous episode. I think it was 260, where we talked about my concerns over the potential for a rate cut not being necessary right now. And the reason why is you looked at so much of the data that was out there. And I don't know if you follow me on X. You don't have an X account, do you?
I don't have an X account, but I saw the post that you made that you posted on the gram.
On the Grammys?
Because if it doesn't come onto the gram, then it didn't really happen, you know?
So I'm actually using my laptop today. We're trying a little bit of a different setting, and plus Saied and I want to be a little bit more professional every once in a while. I mean, we could fake professionalism.
I mean, let us know in the comment section below if you'd like us to keep it a little bit more professional, or you like the like the shows that the way they go. Because right now YouTube's not playing that game with us, Chief.
It's because we're very inflammatory. We are YouTube's kryptonite.
Right.
We say things that we shouldn't be saying, and those words that we shouldn't be saying prevent us from advertising or getting pushed in the algorithm.
We're gluten, bro.
I'm
That's
okay
what we
with
are.
that.
We're inflammatory. We're gluten.
The only way you're going to see us consistently come up in your feed is if you like and subscribe, and you got to subscribe.
Have to. There's a huge percentage of the people that actually tune into the show that aren't subscribed. So we understand that it's hard to get crossover, but we're on Apple or Spotify. If you're listening to us on Spotify, I hope you're enjoying the viewing option that we've laid out for you there. Chris has done a lot of work to make sure that we're up to date. They've done some really cool things over there. I think
they're going for YouTube, brother.
We believe Spotify's making a play to go after YouTube.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm here for it. Yeah,
well,
please.
I'll be honest. I love me some YouTube up until they're they're affecting the show.
They're just wildly difficult. Believe it or not, despite all the content that's on YouTube, they have a lot of guardrails and restrictions that mess with their algorithm. Whereas you can say whatever you want on Spotify, and no one's going to say anything.
No one's flagging you. Yep.
Yeah.
Or if you're watching us over on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, ring that notification bell, do all the moist goody good stuff.
Yeah. So on X this morning, I want to set the tone right. I get up in the mornings, I do my 20 minutes of cardio on the bike, right? That's usually my me time to think about stuffs, right? And today's stuffs was I knew the FOMC meeting was happening. So I decided to put down some thoughts, which I do on X quite a bit. The 10-year yield is 85 basis points up since the Fed's rate cut cycle began. The average rate on the 30-year mortgage is up from 6% to 7% in the last 3 months. So we're seeing things go in a very different direction than a lot of people had thought they were going to go.
Mm-hmm.
All the models show a 25 basis point rate cut today. But is it warranted is my question. CPI, PPI, and PCE, all three are the metrics that the Fed, the FOMC tracks. Is inflation under control? They're all rising as the job market softens, and now we get information about the job market being artificially inflated from the government hiring 50,000 employees a month. Remember when the Inflation Reduction Act came out, I think it was 2 years ago, we were still in the garage.
Yep.
And you and I did that episode over it, and we're like, 87,000 IRS workers. God damn, there's a lot of IRS workers.
they come to audit your ass.
They were basically doing that a month across all the government agencies.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't sound so huge. When you
so if you believe in it, if that's the case, and that is what, in fact, the Fed is leaning on for their decision to cut 25 basis points today, right? Because inflation has not gone under control.
Nope.
So giving them more of a reason to hold rates where they are. The economy has not been suffering based on GDP prints, so you don't need to cut there.
I believe GDP is artificially inflated by government spending.
Absolutely. That could be the case.
What's up?
But if they're basing it off of what's being reported, the reports are showing positive numbers. It's showing that the economy is healthy, even though you and I both know that it's not.
I know.
It's not.
You got to be, quote, data dependent. But are they, though?
They're not, though. So if they're actually buying into the rhetoric of, these job numbers have been inflated by government jobs, then they actually know that unemployment or employment is actually softening. The labor market is softening, and could be real trouble around the corner here. My issue with the decision that they made today is, unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there that are not financially literate, right? And a cut, not only a cut today, but the last 3 meetings, there have been cuts, right? What does it do? It almost justifies and encourages people that better times are ahead.
They believe that narrative, too.
They believe
That's the crazy thing.
That's the thing, right? So, and what's that? It's quantitative easing, makes it easier to borrow money, big corporations, mid-cap companies, right? What does that ultimately do? They'll borrow more money to grow the economy more, and that's ultimately going to have a resurgence in inflation, not solving their inflation problem.
Yeah, and I think that's why you saw the pivot and what they think is going to happen next year. So I also, after I do my 20 minutes cardio, I get into the cold plunge. And I know how you love it when I talk about cold plunging on the show.
I know you're back to cold plunging.
I'm back in, man.
They sent you the replacement.
And it works so much better than the previous one did.
Oh, really?
I think the previous one had some kind of mechanical defect coming from. I had one of the first out of the factory. Like they hooked me up. So I think there was something there that just didn't work. This one works spectacular. The water's cleaner, it runs better. So maybe I just had a bootleg version.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
So I get in the cold plunge. I like to do it nude. So for those of you driving, close your eyes. You get in an accident. Imagine. Might be worth it. Subject matter, subjective.
Okay.
So I also posted a second tweet or X post. The language there is still confusing.
Yeah.
Today is a bigger day for the future of our economy than people realize. A 25 basis point rate cut is a near certainty based on world interest rate probability and Chicago Mercantile Exchange. But is it the appropriate move? What's more important, the FOMC following through or the data-dependent approach? We are watching history unfold. Okay?
What do you think about that? Why? Why is history unfolding?
I think you're at a pivotal moment where the FOMC was forced to recognize, number one, that they'd overcommitted to next year based on the data that they'd already had. And if you want to be data dependent, you can say, okay, we're going to pivot. Then you shouldn't have cut rates now. So they wanted to save face and cut, in my mind, in the face of inflationary trends going possibly the wrong way. But they also were at least savvy enough to revise expectations to be a lot more restrictive in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So they took a stance which is going to change the entire landscape, in my mind, of 2025. A lot of people in the real estate profession were telling one another, oh my God, Billy, you're not going to believe this, but rates are going to go down next year significantly and mortgages are going to be so much more affordable. Right?
Right.
But they're not, though.
They're not, though. We knew it. You called it.
I did. On this show.
Because it tracks the 10-year, right? And what has the 10-year been doing? Like you said at the top of the show, it's been going up the last 3 months, right?
And the 10-year, my friends, it popped a little Uchi Wally Wally.
Uchi Bang Bang.
Today. It spiked up quite a bit. So let's get into the meat of the show, shall we?
Let's do it.
Should we get into that the beef stuff? The beefies?
Yeah. The beefy stuff.
Beefy stuff. So this, according to Yahoo Finance, Fed cuts rates by a quarter point, scales back cuts for 2025. This is going to be a resounding, reoccurring theme throughout the whole show. When we talk about the Fed's actions, everybody was like, oh, yeah, they cut rates, but they revised 2025. It's going to be a big part. So in a rare split vote, the central bank voted to reduce its benchmark interest rate by 25 basis points to a new range of 4.25% to 4.5%. Initiating its third consecutive rate cut in 2024, despite signs that inflation isn't entirely going away. And that last piece, inflation not entirely going away, was what caused me a great deal of concern in my question of whether this was really a justifiable time to continue to cut rates.
Mm-hmm.
Newly appointed Cleveland Fed President Beth Hammack, which Saied loves.
No, she's new.
She objected. She's like, no.
Oh, she come out the gate. She's like, I'm going to make a name for myself.
Yeah.
Meeting,
how do I get myself in the most press releases possible?
Meeting number one, right? She replaced Mester.
Yeah, Mester. And she preferred not to cut rates at all. Her dissent marked the second against a policy decision since the Fed started its latest interest rate cutting cycle in September. Consensus among Fed officials is for 2 rate cuts next year, down from 4 previously forecasted in September. And I'm quoting here, today was a closer call, but we decided it was the right call, Powell told reporters at a press conference on Wednesday. Again, quoting, it was the best decision to foster achievement of both our goals, referring to price instability and maximum employment. Okay. Questionable, but okay.
No, I mean, you have every right to question that because price stability is still a major issue, has not been solved. To his own point, we will get inflation down to 2%.
Yeah, I don't think you will anytime soon.
I really don't think you are. The top 2 things that are fighting against that figure are shelter, right, and actually transportation services. That's actually
which is crazy. The 2 things that everybody kind of needs to live.
Yeah, exactly. I think transportation services is up 7% year over year. And I mean shelter's up over 4%. So that's really gonna if both of those are above the target of 2%. Mind you, all of these need to be down to 2%. They got a real problem on their hands.
And a real problem amongst their own opinions on how to get there. So the dissent continued. We see ourselves still on track to cut in 2025, Powell said, noting that the Fed will need to see further progress of inflation. A rate hike in 2025, and I'm quoting here, doesn't appear to be a likely outcome.
The fact that they're even mentioning a rate cut, a rate hike, I'm sorry, right, is like, oh, it's now back on the table.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the conversation.
Yeah. Saied, I'm not planning on firing you.
Okay. Well, then why even mention that?
I just want you to know that I'm not planning on firing you.
But it could come into your plan later?
I'm not planning on it now.
Why are you thinking about not firing me?
You have a large degree of hair on your hands. And it's very distracting.
It's very distracting. Oh, I gotta sit on my hands.
And as somebody who
my diamond hands.
Yeah, those are not diamond hands.
These diamond hands.
Those are fluffy hands. Okay. And as somebody who edits the show a lot, you talk a lot with your hands. You're a hand gesture guy.
Yeah.
You're the I like to eat popcorn and make the gesture towards your face guy. But the problem is I see knuckle hair.
Yeah.
Every week for hours when I edit the show. I'm going to need you to tamp that down for our relationship.
Right.
But I'm not planning on firing you.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Oh, man. Speaking of hand gestures, so the boys learning all the basketball celebrations right now that has to do with hand gestures. There's so many, right? All the players out there. You got Damian Lillard, Dame time. He points to his watch.
I never did any of this.
Oh, all the kids are doing that. And I have to really he does it at home when we're together, but I say, you're not doing this in the game. I'm not standing for it. It's
So you make like a last minute shot and then you tap your watch?
Bro, I wish these kids are doing it first play of the game. They score, they're celebrating. Like they're doing all the hand gestures.
Because every bucket counts?
Every bucket counts.
What was that mouth thing you just did right there?
So they'll shoot, they go.
What is that?
It's like just to hit a three, but they're not even shooting 3-pointers.
Why is it in your mouth?
I don't know
why do you keep doing it? Like it's gonna get less
that's just what they do. I'm just saying I don't even want to tell you the names of the guys that do it. Anyways, so
yeah, I want to know who they are. So save us both some time.
I know. So Adam's got algebra homework that he's working on. Okay, and I'm asking him, you got to show your steps. Okay, the teacher needs you to show your steps.
Yeah.
He goes, I don't need to. I got the right answer.
X equals 3, Dad.
Yeah, he already knows.
Yeah.
He already knows. Like, this is what it is. I got the right answer, right? I'm like, I know, but she's gonna have a problem if you don't show your steps.
Yeah.
So he'll do his homework, and he's fighting me on not showing his steps because he could just do it in his head, and he'll get the right answer. He's walking away, and I'm like, Adam, hold on, I gotta check your homework. Don't go upstairs yet. You know, he's like, they're all right, and I check him like, yeah, you're right, they're all right, and then he'll boom, hand gesture. Like, come on, man.
I gotta start doing that in the board meetings.
This one was good. This one was actually really good. It's ice in my veins. Oh, it's
is that what that means?
Yeah.
I always thought that was a penis reference. I swear to God, I did. I'm not even being sarcastic. I literally thought that meant that you had a large phallic tool.
No,
like that's not what that. It means ice in your. Why is that the
ice? He's mixing two, the 3 and then the here like this, and they're pointing to ice in my veins. Yeah.
I totally misread what that meant. That was so new to me.
And I'm not gonna lie, that's one of the coolest celebrations. Like, I got ice in my veins. That's so good.
I think I've used that inappropriately before. Jesus, I am out of touch. I did not know that.
Oh yeah,
I thought it meant like it's this big.
No.
Like,
The bad phallic reference is another one. That's the one where they go like this down the court. Like
that's the reference they do in basketball now.
No, how do
you do that after you make a shot?
You make it, you turn, and then they go like this,
suggesting that they're giant
elephantitis. Yeah,
giant testicles.
Yeah, I got big cojones that could take the big boy shots.
Maybe I should start watching basketball again. This sounds a lot more involved than I realized.
This is way more fun now.
Jesus.
You don't understand.
How is it not a technical foul for taunting or something?
and the best. The refs let some of it slide because they understand for entertainment purposes.
They let gigantic testicles slide?
No. It depends on who does it, right? If LeBron does it, it's cool. If somebody
that seems unfair.
I mean, come on. What are you gonna do? You're gonna throw LeBron out the game?
Yeah, LeBron. Don't make giant testicle references on national television.
Okay, bro. He He did it like once, but Kobe did it. Sam Cassell did it.
Kobe did not do that.
Oh yeah,
Sam Cassell did that.
Kobe did it. And he didn't even get teed up. At
Does
least
Sam Cassell know he's ugly?
LeBron got teed up for it.
You should get teed up for that. You shouldn't be able to make any.
But
type
Kobe
of
could get away with it.
You can't make genital references on national television.
Oh, the other one. There's so many. We won't get into it, but they're good.
I didn't realize you had like an Encyclopedia Britannica of like inappropriate hand gestures.
I'll get you up to speed after the show.
I don't want to see any of that stuff, but that's on camera. I can't explain to my wife what you're doing. It's gonna be awkward for everybody.
So now every time we guess the Fed decision right, I'm just gonna
I see your veins. I did not know that meant that.
Baby.
I mean, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, the Fed officials estimated that 2 cuts next year, 3 predicted 1. I'm sorry. This again. I'm still thinking about Said's hand in wrong places. 10 Fed officials estimated 2 cuts next year, 3 predicted 1, and 3 said 3 cuts, and 1 saw 4 cuts. Neil Kashkari.
He saw 4 cuts. That's not happening, Chief.
That's not happening. So again, look, all the numbers being what they are, the real story was in the dot plot chart.
Mm-hmm.
The summary of economic projections, which Saied has talked about and done a very good job educating us all about on previous shows, came out as part of this meeting, the last meeting of the year. It's very common to get a summary of economic projections to see where everybody's head is at.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've got an actual quote from the very first page of the SCP report, which I thought would be valuable to read.
Okay.
The question is, can I read it without thinking about ice in my veins? In conjunction with the Federal Open Market Committee meeting held on December 17th through 18th of 2024, meeting participants submitted their projections of the most likely outcomes for real gross domestic product, or GDP growth, the unemployment rate, and inflation for each year from 2024 all the way to 2027 and over the longer run. Each participant's projections were based on information available at the time of the meeting, so they can't just, pull information from future meetings or things that come up later on, and obviously this is subject to change, together with her or his assessment of appropriate monetary policy, including a path for the Fed funds rate and its longer run value, and assumptions about other factors likely to affect economic outcomes. That's always been strange to me. So you can assume other factors that may affect economic outcomes, but you can't assume future data that might be prevalent. And the reason why this is important, if you know that shelter is the biggest lag on inflation, and it's likely what's keeping inflation above 2%, and that's a huge piece of this puzzle here. If you say, hey, you know what, I don't think shelter prices are going to go down anytime soon because there's an inventory shortage, you're not allowed to pick that as a speculative data point whenever you make this decision.
Oh, interesting.
Which is weird to me. But, whatever. I don't make the rules.
Yeah.
The longer run projections represent each participant's assessment of the value to which each variable would be expected to converge over time under appropriate monetary policy, and in the absence of further shocks to the economy, quoting, appropriate monetary policy, end quote, is defined as the future path of policy that each participant deems most likely to foster outcomes. Does it sound like a lot of bullshit? Because that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. They're really, really stretching here.
Yeah, for economic activity and inflation that best satisfy his or her individual interpretation of the statutory mandate to promote maximum employment and price stability. Long story short, they give these assholes a chart that's blank and say, put a dot where you think the rates are going to be in each particular year.
Impossible for them to get right that far out, and because they can make adjustments to it, and they're not held to anything, right? Yeah. There's no consequences or repercussions for them being wrong.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just, this is where we think it's going to go, and you got some that are a little bit too high, some that are a little too low, and a bulk of them that are in the middle. And just think of it as like a bunch of friends, like, all right, you go high on this one, I'll go low on this one, and we'll all kind of just group up in the middle.
Yeah. So basically what I'm trying to get at is whenever Saied and I tell you what we think the terminal rate's going to be, we're basically giving you the exact same thing.
Right, it's true.
We're not on the FOMC, but we're not on the FOMC. You know what I mean?
100. We're basically there.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of Neil Kashkari.
Come on, I'm not in the back with crayons, bro.
Okay, you can be the hammock chick.
The hammock chick? I'm good with that.
I mean, she's a dissenter. That's probably you.
Yeah, I mean, well, we agree with her. That's where we should have been.
Yeah, she's not wrong.
She's definitely not wrong.
She came in swinging the hammer.
She did. She
And
did.
now I know that she can appropriately do ice in her veins
She should.
because it didn't mean something else.
Right now, she is doing the ice in my veins because of the way the stock market reacted.
Were you the one who came to my office today and said, "Hey, look at the only thing that's green today"? Was that you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, because of you, I added this to the show.
Oh.
We did a lovely show not too long ago on that covered the VIX, the volatility index. I think it was your idea too.
No, it was actually your idea.
Was it? Oh, okay.
But I went into maybe a deeper breakdown of it than you were anticipating because I also knew that we were going to get into it. And basically, what that does is it measures people's, not just people's, investors' expectations. And why that matters is because these investors are putting their money where their mouth is, right? They could be hedging, right? But it's out of potential real economic financial fear or potential upside.
Yeah.
So you could be putting in options, or you could be putting in puts.
Put pudding?
Put pudding.
Put pudding.
Yeah, meaning if you expect there to be a downturn, you hedge your bet by putting in puts. There's another way of saying this. That doesn't flow out correctly.
I like it when you sound like you don't flow.
Yeah, I flow though.
So you put a lot?
I flow though.
No, you don't.
I got good flow.
Like hustle and flow?
No, not hustle and flow. But yeah, anyways, it basically it tracks what investors are doing, and it gives you real insight to where people are putting their money.
What Saied is trying to say, it's a volatility index. It's a fear gauge. And if people are afraid, well, it rises. People are not afraid, it goes down.
There you go. Simple.
See? That's why I'm on the show.
Keep it very simple.
Yeah. Let me tell you what Saied said in a not smart way. Well, the VIX, the fear gauge, well, the little thing, it spiked today. Okay?
Shocker.
Spiked. As in the vertical. Yeah, as in straight up. Yeah. 74%.
Erected.
Yeah, erected. It had a 74% higher close today in its erection. The second biggest one-day percentage increase in history.
Wow.
Volatility is back, baby.
People are scared, man.
As they should be.
They don't know what's going to happen next year.
So for those of you curious, well, Chris, hey, when was the highest change in a single day to the VIX? It was a 115.6% increase, where the VIX started at 17.31 and ended at 37.32. That was on 2/5/2018.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, interesting time. And 12/18/2024, today, it started at 15.87 and closed at 27.62 for a total increase of 74%.
Still, yeah.
Pretty notable. But there's been some, I will point out, there's been some pretty healthy spikes over time in the VIX. So to give you an idea, the third highest time was August 5th, 2024, February 27th, 2007, January 27, 2021, November 26th, 2021. So there's been there's a pretty healthy cadence of spikes like that now. I mean, what that means, I don't know, but I'll tell you right now that it typically means that people are going, I am scared out of my damn mind today.
So how much of that fear do you think has to do with the fact that the rhetoric after the decision to cut rates was really them going back to holding higher for longer? Now, higher not being 5.5%, where the rates were at their peak, but okay, still relatively speaking, 4.5% compared to what we had been dealing with for the last 14, 15 years.
Yeah,
is still a lot higher, and the rhetoric is we're going to be holding this here, whereas the expectation all along, especially based on the last summary of economic projections, was that they were going to cut rates by a full, 1 percentage point, by some time by the end of next year. Now it's like, wait a minute, at best case, 50 basis points. Do you think, because what I'm thinking is if the VIX went up, right?
Yeah.
Borrowing costs just became cheaper.
They didn't.
They didn't.
The borrowing cost, the cost of a bank to borrow became cheaper.
Okay.
But the cost to the consumer is not getting cheaper.
Has not changed yet.
It's not changing, and it's actually gone the other way. It's gotten more expensive.
Okay, how so?
So this influences the treasuries. All the uncertainty, the volatility, the fear gauge that the VIX is measuring really equates back to, in some ways, directly to the bond markets, right? If people have less confidence near term, less confidence long term, treasuries rise, right? And as they start to, kind of change and pivot, you would expect the 10-year to drop and mortgage rates to drop, but the opposite has happened. The treasuries are clearly not cooperating with what the Fed is saying and doing.
Mm-hmm.
And as a response to all these things, mortgage rates have gone the other way. In the past 3 months, it went from 6% to 7% handles.
Mm-hmm.
So you're seeing a pretty different change than what people expected. So I don't think that borrowing costs are getting cheaper, and I don't think that they will. And there's a big disconnect between what the wow, that rang through to my that's weird. There's a big disconnect in what the market is seeing and what the Fed is telling the market.
Okay.
So because of that, borrowing costs are not getting cheaper at all. And I think that over the long run, something will break. And my belief has long been that that'll be in the bond market.
Okay.
I truly believe the bond market is going to be a place where we have to have a come to Jesus realization that all of this overbearing information, all of the stuff that's the behavioral economics that normally trade into recessionary economies, we've got to find a way to come to a reality of stability and calmness that social media's generation is not allowing us to have.
Oh, that's a good point.
In the last show, I talked about how there's kind of a curve that Robert Schiller pointed out, and he won a Nobel laureate for this, right?
Yes.
He where he kind of mapped out the emotions that go along with recessionary economies, the behavioral economics behind it. I think a lot of that is magnified by the flow of information at the cadence that you're seeing on social media. And I don't know how we reconcile it. I don't know how we get from where we are today to home prices coming down and the bond market normalizing. But clearly, Fed policy in and of itself is not going to be enough to get us there.
Right. I know that in the housing market right now, homes are staying online for a little bit longer. Some of that could be seasonal, right? We are around the holidays. And I do know that the number of homes that are being sold above listing price has come down somewhat, right? But there needs to be even more of a change in order for it to be reflected on these inflation reports for the Fed to,
Yeah.
feel comfortable.
And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Fed's policy is going to take a little bit longer to get through. I don't know. I don't have the definitive answer to it, but as of right now, we have been in a pretty steady rate cutting cycle this year. We've seen 3 consecutive rate cuts at 3 consecutive meetings, which should have released a lot of pressure. And keep in mind, the first one was 50 basis points.
They come out the
25
gate
basis
swinging.
points. Swinging. 25 basis points. We were a full point below, a full 1% below where we started.
Mm-hmm.
If I would have told myself that a year ago, I'd be like, oh, the pressure would be off. We'd be cruising towards normalization. And instead, we don't seem to be. I mean, we've got a very uncertain market with numbers that, and I have this conversation I'm going to use my brother as a proxy. There's no way around it. I had this conversation with my brother. My brother is in the mortgage business. He's on the lending side. Love my brother to death. This is not a knock on him. It's just he's a very good example of what I'm constantly hearing. And maybe he is right at the end of the day. I don't feel that he is.
About what?
I'll get there. But there's only 2 sides to this argument that I typically see. He believes that if the Fed cuts rates like they did today, that ultimately this leads to lower rates for the consumer, lower mortgage rates, and the business is going to pick back up again when rates lower again. I do not believe that to be the case. I think that home values are a problem, and I don't think we have covered on the show. Home prices today, adjusted for inflation, are now officially at the most unaffordable they've ever been in history. For a brief period of time, there were other periods in history where home prices were a lot lower, but mortgage rates were at 18+%. We are now at an inflection point where even at 7%, given that home affordability has gotten so bad from a valuation perspective, we are now at the all-time highest housing unaffordability in history.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be a mathematician, a Nobel laureate. You don't have to be Robert Schiller or even Saied to know that if something's going straight up, it has to come down a little bit. That's just how every graph and every chart of economic data you've ever seen operates.
Even if it continues to go up again after that, right? It does have to come down a little bit.
Yeah.
There has to be a little bit of an adjustment.
And if we're at all-time housing unaffordability, the next generation can't build wealth traditionally in the way they did their home. You've got an entire generation starting later to build wealth, and maybe they have cryptocurrency holdings, good for them.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got an entire generation that can't afford to buy homes. A wide swath of American culture that can't do it. Now, sure, their parents might be able to give them some money. Sure, their parents might have home equity, in their property that they can use, tap into. But there has to be an inflection point where something breaks to change that narrative. And the problem that I have for my brother and everybody else is this weird sense of optimism in spite of so many things being red flags. The case index, right?
Case-Shiller index, yeah.
Yeah. That's signaling recessionary economy.
Mm-hmm.
We had 2 successive quarters of negative GDP growth, but the federal government came out and said, no, it's 2 negative quarters of GDI growth. In addition to that, that was never the definition. They tried to change it. We know at some point after that, they started hiring at a cadence of 50,000 employees a month in government.
Mm-hmm.
We know that GDP is propped up in part by spending on geopolitical conflict outside of the country, government spending.
Just came out of the inverted yield curve.
Everybody on X is posting about, oh my God, these drones, they're aliens, they're looking for nuclear weapons, they're looking for all. And I'm sitting here going like, I'm just trying to get some better home prices, bro.
I know.
Like the aliens can't live here. We don't have space for them.
Right.
But, I say it sarcastically, tongue in cheek, but I'm like, why are we all focused on the wrong thing? Like we all want to believe the economy is great, but every time we see a drone, we're like, it's aliens. Like, why is the conspiracy theory okay to be over there?
Yes.
But you can't have it over here, where clearly the people in power have a reason to manipulate the economy to stay in power. They don't have a reason to show you fake aliens, bro.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm saying. Like, it doesn't, like, we're so hyper focused on things that traditionally have been the case that we lose sight of like the bigger perspective. And I think that a lot of people in the mortgage business, a lot of people in the lending business, they absolutely inherently believe that this is going to all improve for them because they don't understand things like the VIX is signaling fear and volatility.
Right.
These signals are there. And then there's always that guy, Chris, you're just like Peter Schiff.
Mm-hmm.
A broken clock is right twice a day. Okay.
That's true. Something that I wanted to get into with you, and I actually wanted to get your take on this, is I know that, so we talk about at great lengths all the time that the Fed has a dual mandate, right? Manage inflation, and manage employment, right? Provide maximum employment for everybody. How much of what we are dealing with as far as an inflation standpoint goes has to do with what economists call the wage price spiral. Okay? This is basically a time where I get it, it's not going to hit for a lot of people, but when we're talking about shelter inventory being at record lows, and certain people are basically what wage price spiral is, right, is when unemployment is too low and certain employers are out there having to pay more for certain employees to come over, right? They have to pay more than what I guess the going rate normally would be. And then now they have to up their production costs, which ultimately gets passed down to the consumer, right? And then it's a cycle.
Yeah, it's a vicious cycle.
It's a vicious cycle. Now these wage earners that are making more can come out and ask whoever for their family members to tap into their equity or afford higher paying home or higher cost homes, right? And now the inventory was so low that it's impacting this shelter component. So maybe what we had been dealing with was a time period where the Fed let unemployment get too low. That's a conversation that has not really been had.
No, it isn't. In transitory migration, a certain amount of changing jobs between jobs is healthy, which is why healthy unemployment is closer to 5%. Although they're trying to reframe that right now and say it's 4.5%.
Yeah,
I don't know that I really buy that.
But we were with a 3 handle for some time.
Yeah, for a long time, and people got very comfortable. Plus, there were stimulus checks in and around the same time, and it got kind of wild, man. I think that a lot of the traditional indicators from a data perspective. So let's be clear here: the government aggregates most of this data. There are some private companies like private payroll that report, but almost all of it comes from government data.
And the BLS, right?
Can I just be an asshole for a little bit? Like,
Please.
I don't want any government employees to be like in my DMs. Like, I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm just throw something out there.
Throw it out there.
When was the last time you're like, damn, that government agency is really efficient?
Oh, here we go. That's why we got Doge, baby.
Like the Department of Government Efficiency. But I'm just saying that. I know it sounds sarcastic and like malicious, but I'm not trying to be that. I'm saying like government agencies are known for not being efficient.
I mean, listen here, guys. If the number one thing that's holding inflation back from getting down to 2%, right, is shelter, and how we aggregate this data is on a 6-month lag.
Yeah.
Aren't we in 2024? What are we talking about here?
Well, why are we the last large country in the world to not use owner's rent equivalent?
Yeah.
We're still using something that nobody else in the world uses.
That doesn't make any sense.
And yet we're using it going like, oh, that's a good proxy for home values. It's really not.
And then don't act like you haven't changed the way you calculate this data. They've literally changed the way they've calculated inflation, CPI, 20 times.
Yep.
Over 20 times. And not by like little details, like large swings.
Yeah.
So things can change. I think it fits their narrative. It gives them an extra tool in their, in their back pocket that they can pull out and use if they ever wanted to.
Yeah, but see, this is a problem. So, and I'm not going to tinfoil hat time.
Let's do it.
Let's put it on. The FOMC is not supposed to be influenced by the government. So nobody from government can be like, hey, Jerome, my guy, my ace. I saw you at that Diddy party last week. I'm going to go ahead and need you to change the interest rates to this, okay? Otherwise, you're going to be like LeBron and be out for some personal reasons for a while, okay?
Look at you with the poppy culture.
And someone's got to fill in for Arun, right?
Yeah.
That was his name, Arun.
But listen, hold on. There is that rhetoric that was going around. I mean, the guy's name that we can't say because then we can't promote the show. Okay, that guy came in and said, "Oh, when I come in, I'm gonna let him go."
Yeah,
and by him he means JP.
Yeah. So you're talking about our president-elect.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. We just got flagged.
Yeah. Damn it. Try not that YouTube trigger. Yeah, I hear you. But so here's the thing: is that still isn't him telling him what to do? That's him making passive-aggressive threats. But here's what the government does control: all the data inputs that they know they look at.
True.
Right? If I tell you, Saied Omar, my wife, that you can control our finances.
Okay, cool. I love that. I love this
You
idea.
control all the finances, baby.
Really, I get to decide where we spend our money. Cool. I like that.
Yeah. But I'm only going to let you look at the money that I show you.
Wait a minute. What?
Yeah.
But I get to control the spending.
Of the money that I show you, you can control it all.
That's some bullshit, right?
No, that's totally appropriate.
Yeah.
You think that you run everything, wifey.
Yeah. But I'm really running the show behind the scenes.
But all the decision-making you're making is based off the information I'm giving you.
Right.
So if I want you to spend less this month, I just show you less money in the accounts.
And that's all I made, honey.
If I want you to spend more, I show you we're flush with cash.
Oh, it's been a good month.
Yeah, go get that Birkin, boo.
Yeah, that Birkin.
Yeah, you be twerking for it, you know?
How much money you got to make to let your wife buy a Birkin?
You don't even know how this process works, do you?
No, I do.
You
got to get on a list. You got to get on a list.
You got to know somebody.
But I mean, let's just say that all that checks out.
30 grand for a bag. It's not bad.
Wait, why the shoulder shrug? Like, oh, I got that. That's no biggie.
Because I look at it like this. Like they go from like 30 to 100, right?
Don't
maybe
give me
more. I don't know.
Don't give me this.
I don't know.
It appreciates.
It's an approximation.
Don't give me this.
I think on a low end, that's, you know what? This is a question for the Googles. How much does a Birkin cost that I can't afford? I can't put this in my search history. My wife sees it.
Yeah, 30.
How much?
30 to 50.
No, they go up. They go up much higher. They have really like luxury.
No, like starting, right?
I think so. Yeah.
They're like Ferrari though. You can't just sell to anybody.
Used pre-owned Hermes Birkin bag being sold from Walmart for $33,000.
Walmart?
I'm not making this up. Yeah. Walmart sells used Birkin bags. I have so many questions. So here's one, $225,000. Okay, I think this proves my point. So I'm going to play it out here. Okay, Hermes Birkin Togo bag, $33,000. Hermes crocodile bag, $350,000. Here's one on eBay for $470,000. Here's the Hermes. I can't even say that bag, $400,000. But basically, they're all like the same, just some different aesthetic, right? And different materials.
Got it.
So somewhere, let's just say 30 to hundreds of thousands. That's equivalent to a man's Rolex. Right? Depending on which one you get, it can be as cheap as like 15 grand, or it can be hundreds of thousands of dollars.
But there's a difference. There's a difference.
Why?
Here's the difference. Hear me out.
This is going to be sexist. I apologize to all of our female listeners.
No. You correct me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Just on a style basis,
Mhm.
right? The Rolex that you wear, right, depending on who you are, could be an everyday watch for you.
Yeah.
Okay. The Birkin bag is not an everyday bag, bro.
It can 100% be an everyday bag for a
No,
woman.
hell no.
Yes, it can. If you're making millions of dollars a year as a female and you've got a $33,000 bag,
That's not an everyday bag,
it's
bro.
an everyday bag for you.
No.
You can have an everyday bag.
No, bags are not used the same way as watches are used, man. Come on. They're not the same.
Okay, well, okay, fine. So a lot of people wear a Rolex as a daily beater watch,
Yeah.
but they have like an AP Royal Oak as the one they wear out to like nice occasions.
Right.
You know what that is, huh?
A
I'm
Royal
basically talking to you basketball
No,
speak.
I love that's one of my favorite watches, the Royal
Is it
Oak.
really?
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I like it. I like how flat it is. I like the shape. Yeah, I love that. What is it, hexagon shape?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I'm a Rolex guy through and through. Rolex presidential day date sold.
Really? I'm
Yeah.
a Rolex guy, but if I could afford one or an Omega guy, gotta go with the Bond. Bro.
I've got a vintage Omega.
Yeah.
A very nice vintage Omega. It's really nice. It's one of the few. I sold all my watches. That was the only watch that I kept.
Do you want it to be like James Bond?
No, it's vintage. It's like a 1960s leather strap.
Mm-hmm.
Very thin, classy, class.
Classy.
It's broken.
We had this conversation earlier today. When somebody calls you classy, that just means they're calling you boring.
That would be an accurate description of me, Saied. I don't know how to put it. My exciting nights out avoid spicy food and alcohol.
That's an exciting night out.
Yeah,
Very classy.
I'm at the point in my adult digestive system journey
Mm-hmm.
where I've got to be very thoughtful about what I put in my body.
Otherwise, you have bad time.
It's not just a bad time. It's I just don't feel great the next day, like, plus, you got to digest it. It's not so good.
Right.
Plus, I'm trying to look, young forever.
Of course.
This beard color ain't working for me, though.
You're coloring your beard?
No, I should.
Would you ever?
No.
At this point, you can't, right?
That'd
be a hard left
First
turn.
of all, I'm on a podcast with you. It's on camera, 4K.
I would never let you live that
I
down.
would never let me live that down either. Good for you.
We should do it. We should fuck with everybody one day and just come in with
Like full black beards.
Can we do it one time?
We look like pirates.
Let's do it though.
Huh?
Let's do it.
No. You can't do it like for one day.
No,
I got to go to work next day.
No. That's true. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Who cares though?
Can't be going to work like, arr, give me your money. It's just not. I look back at photos of me when I had like a full like dark beard. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
That didn't look very good, did it? So we have some inflation data. You want to cover that too?
No, I don't have it. You have it?
Well, tell me you don't read the show notes. I'll tell me you don't read the show
No,
notes.
no. I'm saying I don't have it.
Yeah, you have it in the show notes, man. See this. I'm sorry, buddy. Only one of us doing all the work over here. And then I got.
We do have inflation data here.
Don't act surprised after I told you to look there. According to Yahoo Finance, where inflation is and where it isn't, I've got some interesting inflation cost of living data at the bottom of this that I put in to make Saied sound interesting, because otherwise he would sound very boring.
The shrinkflation.
Yeah. And then I've got, and this is why my phone rang in the middle of the show, is I actually have my phone hooked up to Bluetooth so that I could play a clip of Jerome Powell lying his ass off.
Lying his ass off and trying to be funny on a time where this is not a time to be funny.
I'm going to say that I'm an inappropriate person. That's an inappropriate time to be inappropriate, okay?
So you can appreciate it?
I appreciate it, but at the same time, now I know you listen to Snoop and Dre when you're pulling up.
Right. Hey, look, he shot his shot and he missed.
Yeah.
He missed, but it's fine.
He missed. Yeah.
I can appreciate it.
Yeah.
I liked it.
He's for sure listening to Snoop.
Oh, 100%.
Well, give me the inflation quote from Yahoo Finance, please.
All right. So this from Yahoo Finance. Grocery prices are up again just in time for holiday baking and cooking. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, latest inflation numbers, eggs led the way in all too familiar refrain. The price of new and used cars and medical care also pushed higher in November, while overall increase in the CPI matched economists' expectations, rising 2.7% compared to last year and 0.3% over the previous month. There was little relief for consumers buying everyday goods. So this actually came in at expectations. Small little problem. The expectation was for it to increase.
Yeah, and another small little problem is, it's all cute that some of these things have gone down.
Mm-hmm. Like what?
Well, I mean, look, okay, gasoline and rental cars went down. They went down by a little bit over 8%.
So that affects the headline figure, which is why we're at 2.7%. But we know that core inflation is at 3.3%.
Yeah, so auto insurance, 12.7% up. Yikes.
Yeah, I feel it too, man. I felt that last, because, they make you pay I have 6-month policies,
Mm-hmm.
and then what they do is they highlight, oh, your monthly payment's going to be X.
Are they making you do this thing now where you pay 2 months in advance?
These motherfuckers, bro.
Like, what the fuck is that bullshit
So
about?
that's what caught me off guard. So
Your bill's like way more expensive than it otherwise would be.
So they highlight. They do what Tesla did.
Yeah,
Right.
That's
Tesla
not
go.
right.
This is your monthly payment. This is how much your monthly payment is. But they're really calculating your gas savings too.
Yeah, and like we're gonna bill you on this though.
Right.
And you're like, wait, what?
So it's like this is your monthly payment, but the first payment we collect 25% of the entire bill. I'm like, the fuck is this?
Yeah, I don't like that.
What do you mean? No. Just spread it out evenly. I just want to spread it out evenly. Nah, that's just the way we do things.
We had a policy change. What?
Yeah. What is that?
I had a policy change. Fuck you.
Yeah, because I was going over the bill and I asked my wife, I'm like, didn't they say it was gonna cost this? And they're like,
This was like a 3-month headache for me. I got the bill. I didn't understand it. Waited the next day.
yeah.
Called them. They explained it to me. I'm like, that'll make sense. Did some research on it. Didn't understand it. Called them back.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, can break this down to me. They explained it to me again. I still don't understand it.
Right.
But I am not a stupid person.
I know.
Okay?
I can
Like,
trust
why?
me. Trust
why
me,
y'all
I got
making me sound
numbers.
stupid?
Yeah, numbers are my thing.
Yeah, like I know this. I will fucking out you on my podcast. God damn it! But
So I was like, I even called Lane. I'm like, what? You guys are since when you guys doing that? Oh, we've been doing that since last year. I'm like,
no, you didn't.
no, that's not true. That's not true. And then
No.
I'm like, okay, fine. You know, if that's the case, then I'm gonna have to start shopping around for other policies.
And they're like, "Fuck you, go ahead."
Yeah. Literally, she goes, well, if that's what you have to do, sir.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you got to do. What you have to, by the way, let's just have this conversation now. I get this out of my chest. Anytime someone says to you, this has happened to me a lot lately. Okay,
okay.
they say to you, "Well, Saied, you got to do what's best for you."
Oh man. You see what you're doing there? I know what you're doing. You're trying to get me to overreact.
You got to do what's best for you.
Yeah.
Saied.
What is that? What do they mean
I
by
don't
that?
want to tell you what to do because you need to do what's best for you. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give you what you wanted, so you might have to do what's best for you.
No, you've got to do what's best for you. You got to prioritize you. Okay.
Yeah, we want you to take care of you.
Yeah. Make sure you're good.
Yeah.
Because this right here ain't working in your favor.
So you know what I did? Shopped around a little bit, finding out that all these motherfuckers are doing this.
Yeah, it was a policy change. California, not a state policy change, I believe.
We
I don't even know if it's national or not. I have no idea. I know California's doing it.
We got to take our California asses and move to a state and ruin that state too.
Let's go to Alaska.
They probably have a good time out there.
They probably have a real good time. All those days of sunshine and all those days of winter.
Bro, we could be tour guides.
Bro, I could
Bro,
sleep
imagine
like 8 hours a
you
day.
and I as tour guides, we would crush.
Well, I don't think so.
Oh yeah, come on. We would attract a certain demographic.
I don't think you need the cold plunge if you live there, right? Like you're just cold.
You're just sleeping in cold, bro.
Yeah. They have those blankets to keep your car warm, so when you start it won't the fluids aren't free frozen in it.
I've always wanted to go into an igloo. They got igloos out there, right?
You're not the igloo type.
What do you mean? Oh, hold
You're
on. I
not
didn't say.
built for that.
Wait, I didn't say I'd sleep there. I'd say
I mean, you got the cushion for it.
I got to
but
visit. I got to visit. I got to see it one time. One time for the one time.
I do. Look, I'm all for cold therapy, but I like to get into it and then get out. That's
Really?
the whole point. Yeah,
Yeah, quick.
not quick. I'll be in there for a couple minutes.
That's quick.
Live there? No.
See, I don't do a couple
Yeah.
minutes. See, for me. A couple minutes is quick. I'm not a quick guy. I want to be in there for a long time.
The igloo.
The igloo, right?
Right.
Exactly. You see what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, I get it. You're trying to show me how much ice is in your veins.
Way to bring it back full circle, bro. You're a professional.
I've been doing this for a little bit, you know what I mean? So I thought that I would go down the egg route because anytime eggs are your number one source of inflation, I thought, let's talk about some egg price inflation, shall we?
Okay.
In 2022, egg prices soared by about 70% due to the avian flu and supply chain disruptions.
Goddamn.
Avian flu.
I was buying those eggs too.
Bet you were. The current trend, despite slight relief earlier this year, egg prices remain volatile. There's not a VIX for egg prices, by the way.
I know, right?
Making holiday baking more expensive. Of course, I'm a sick bastard who thinks about holiday baking because I love baking.
So fucked up.
Car prices are out of control. Little fun fact there. The average price of a new car in the U.S. is now over $48,000. Yeah, average.
Makes you think about what you're gonna have to buy Carter, huh?
Oh, I know what I want to buy him.
For his first car?
Yeah, I know what I'm buying already.
For his first car.
But by that time,
You're gonna buy him a beater first,
it's gonna
right?
be a Tesla.
His first car is gonna
No,
be
it's gonna be an autonomous driving Tesla. I can tell it where to go, when to come back.
I'm driving your car from my phone, son.
No. Car, your son's car. Son, your car's coming home at 10 o'clock. Be in it. Like, I'm ready for you, dog.
Yeah, you summon the car to
Yeah,
pick him up.
you're playing checkers. I'm over here playing chess.
That's great. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's going to be out front wherever you're at.
Yeah, it's gonna be there for 5 minutes.
Yeah. If you're not in the car by 10:05, you are without a ride.
Yeah, exactly. Good luck.
By then, I'll probably be able to call a drone Uber. They're going to pick them up. And
100%.
fly in. The aliens will be picking them up. If you're in New Jersey, you know what I'm talking about. The average age of cars on the road has hit a record 12.5 years because people just can't afford new ones. I didn't realize that 12.5 years old is the average age of a car on the road.
Yeah.
That's a lot of older cars on the road. So I don't know how they come up with that. But
Yeah, that's man, those cars eventually, right, are gonna need to get replaced. And people that don't have car payments, I'm like, God, you're so fortunate. I love that. I need to get there again. I had that for a little bit, short window
Yeah.
of time.
I had it for a while too. It was amazing.
Just pontificate a little bit.
No,
Just
I
reminisce.
The Jeep was good. I still owe some money on the Rivian. I got to pay it off. I haven't done it yet. I got to do it.
Yeah.
The problem is I don't like know where the economy's going, so I don't want to dump all that cash. Into
Right
that.
now, the message still is hold on to the cash.
Yeah, Adam hit me up from Mind Pump. He's like, "Do I buy now?" I'm like, "No, stop, no."
Yeah, hold.
I'm just gonna get a water bottle and spray him next time he asks.
We should have a little signal here. Should move one of the bottles. Until this bottle moves from here, you hold.
Do the Dave Ramsey or Brad Pitt? You can guess which one means buy.
Right, exactly. When this picture changes.
When it's got hair and it's attractive.
My God, I have to say this. I was scrolling through YouTube.
You see what I'm talking about? My hand gestures.
Look, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Last time I did this, you made fun of me.
Yeah, but
So I had to do
this
that.
isn't
Do
much
this.
better, bro. It looks like you're playing a very small violin, if you know what I mean.
Right? And one of your boy Ramsey's shorts came on.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got like the whole caller when they call in asking for advice.
He's very arrogant. Very arrogant.
Very arrogant. The guy calls in is like, so I just got a windfall of money and I don't know what to do with it. And he goes, okay, well, let's talk about it. What do you?
There's this thing called pink cocaine.
It's great for you. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of fun.
It's designer.
Yeah. And the guy calls in. And he goes, so I just inherited $50 million.
$50 million.
Right. That was it. That
Came out swinging.
Right.
So Ramsey goes, no, you didn't.
He was like, what? Like, you didn't know you were going to get this? He's like, no, I had no idea. My uncle gave it to me. Left it for me after he passed away. I'm like, God damn, where are my uncles at? Come on, like, I wish let me get some of that.
Yeah, I don't have an uncle like that.
But I'm just like, also, what is this?
You don't need financial. You know what you need at that point?
Yeah.
You don't need Dave Ramsey. Okay, you need a financial advisor. Yeah, just go get somebody who's going to manage it for you.
Right. So he's like, let me put you in contact with somebody.
Yeah, Dave Ramsey's probably like, how can I get money off this guy?
Yeah.
He's stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's how he treats people.
How can I collect these fees?
Yeah, he's a terrible human being. The guys at Mind Pump hate that because they have connections and friends over there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so
not everyone's terrible. Just him.
I mean, he isn't the worst human alive.
There's worse.
Yeah, I
Like
think.
who?
Let's see, the guy who shot the United Healthcare CEO. He's probably worse.
Well, Luigi.
Yeah, he's probably worse.
Allegedly, right? We don't know.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
allegedly, Diddy's worse.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, Sam Bankman-Fried's worse.
Yeah. There's a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah, there's people that are worse. I mean,
yeah. Right.
I don't want him to think he's the only one. So, to cap the show here, anytime there is an economic term which makes me think of phallic jokes, I have to exploit it. So, let's talk about shrinkflation, shall we?
Shrink. This is a term. We did not make this up.
No, I mean, it and surprisingly, it has nothing to do with cold showers.
Or plunges, right?
Plunge, yeah. Surprisingly, it doesn't come out during a cold plunge. And when it does, it hurts.
Ah.
Yeah, like, how like your fingers get numb because less circulation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a thing.
That's okay. It's painful.
Yeah.
All right.
Should we get into that?
No, we don't need to.
Sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's a real thing.
Let's get into your shrinkflation.
Okay. Shrinkflation, or getting less product for the same price, is becoming a problem in America. So if inflation in and of itself wasn't an issue, let's say you go and buy a bag of Doritos. Okay. It's rampant, and I don't think most people realize this.
Bro, I said this to you. Hold on.
No,
I'm going to take my shot against you here right now. The fact that you put this in the show notes.
It's in my show notes, bro.
No, bro, hold on. I said this to you over a year and a half ago, and you made fun of me for it.
There's no written proof.
I said, bro, people are paying the same amount for their toilet rolls of paper
Yeah.
And they're not getting the same amount of paper. You're like, who's counting the paper toilet rolls, bro? I'm like, I'm telling you, it's happening. It's happening to Doritos. I even said Doritos. God damn. The fact that you're saying this shit now is pissing me off. You didn't want to listen to me then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a real.
It's because you're the guy who sees like a drone. You're like, oh my God, UFOs.
You're a piece of work, bro.
I'm not a piece of work. Talking about.
You're a piece of work, bro.
Listen, this isn't about you. This is about Jerome. Okay, calm down.
I'm gonna let you get to Jerome,
okay,
but
let me make me feel better. According to Saied, a family-sized bag of Doritos shrank from 17 ounces to 15.5 ounces. You happy now?
Yeah.
Saied.
Yes, me.
Yeah.
My fucking green jacket.
Get a fucking laureate for Doritos bags.
God damn.
Toilet paper rolls. Second one up here.
I told you, bro. I nailed this shit.
I just put them in reverse order. Toilet paper rolls. Well, they often have fewer sheets, but prices remain the same.
I don't miss, bro. Ice in my veins. I don't miss.
That's not what that means.
That's what it means.
Okay, well, you may have been slightly accurate. I don't know, but the person who doesn't believe that that shrinkflation is real isn't you or me. It's actually Jerome Powell.
JP doesn't believe in shrinkflation?
He does not believe in shrinkflation. As a matter of fact, from the Kobisi letter, as we said in May of 2024, when the clip was taken, this is the 2024 version of inflation is transitory, right? If you recall, the Fed came out swinging. They said that inflation is transitory. It goes up and it goes down. It's having a hard time going down, but it goes up and it goes down. It comes and it goes. It comes and it goes. It's inflationary. It's transitory.
This was their explanation to not raising rates initially when we started to experience inflation out the gate.
So Fed Chair Jerome Powell was asked about stagflation, and he said that he doesn't see the stag or the flation.
The stag or the flation.
I guess now we're seeing the stag and the flation, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So, but you know what? Don't take it from us. Who are we to tell you stuff like this? It doesn't do us any good.
Just as a reminder for everyone, what is stagflation, right? That's when GDP is going down, when unemployment is going up.
Yeah, that's right.
Demand, what people go out there and what they're willing to buy, that also goes down. But inflation is still going up.
Yeah. And just in case you need some humor for today, ready?
Let's do it.
I'm going to give you some good old school JP from the hood.
From the hood, yeah.
In addition, I would say, most forecasters, including our forecasting, was that that last year's level of growth was very high, 3.4% in, I guess, the fourth quarter, and probably not going to be sustained and would come down. But that would be our forecast. That wouldn't be stagflation. That would still be to a very healthy level of growth. And of course, with inflation, we will return inflation to 2%. And that won't be, so I don't see the stag or the flation, actually.
The pity laughs that he got too. Come on, man.
I don't see the stag or the flation.
Oh, the stag.
Stag's right here, Jerome. That's me, dog.
Yeah, come on.
I'm very flationed right now.
He should have walked off the podium right after he said, "I don't see the stag or the flation. I'm out."
Yeah, it's not good.
See y'all in January.
Yeah, and here's the problem: transitioning from that to anything he says afterward. All you're gonna do is look at him and go, "Stag, flation, stag,
yeah, stag
or the flation." Like that's your best joke?
I don't see the stag or the flation.
I thought your best joke was inflation was transitory.
Well, it's really convenient, right? When you don't see the stagflation. When we actually said this is what we've been most fearful of all along, that's where we were headed, right? Because we knew that hyperinflation, that's going to take a long time to get to. If something like that were to happen and inflation to get out of control, that's like probably a decade, 2-decade problem. Okay?
Yeah.
Something like stagflation, very, very possible.
We're in it, man.
Yeah, we're definitely in it. But that won't show up when the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they're the ones curating, showing the data, making the data to prove their point, right?
And I'm pretty sure everybody at the National Bureau of Economic Research is dead.
They're not.
Like, no one really works there anymore. Have you heard a single thing from them?
Think about it. Who goes to them for anything else other than, are we in a recession or not?
Yeah.
Did we experience a recession, bro?
Like, you know how that...
What else do y'all do over there?
In every single movie about aliens, Every single movie, when they first get to Earth, there's always that guy in some place where there's some kind of telescope or like radar technology, and he's just sitting there kind of nerding out, usually reading a Playboy or something, and it's really boring and mundane, and he's kind of as, whatever, just chilling out. It's always late at night, and nothing's going on, and all of a sudden you hear bloop, 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 and he like frantically goes over to the screen, he taps it, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, something's wrong with the equipment. And the next thing you know, it's like, oh my God, there's UFOs everywhere.
Yeah.
There's UFOs everywhere. That's what we're doing here.
Yeah. Late to the game.
Yeah. National Bureau of Economic Research is sitting in a room somewhere, just chilling.
Who's the director over there?
I don't know.
I need to hear from the director of marketing.
Probably laid off.
No one's figured it out yet?
Yeah, I'm sure
They put him in the closet with the red stapler?
Yeah, or it's AI driven now. It's like, get rid of them all.
Not yet. They will be, though.
Yeah,
Doge is going there first.
Yeah, first point of authority. All right, we're going to place the National Bureau of Economic Research with an algorithm, and it's going to say, if you've had 2 successive quarters of negative GDP growth equals recession.
That's it.
And every time they see that data come in, it's just going to go, boom, recession.
There you go. Yeah, the light turns on.
Yeah. And then when you have, the recession go away, it's going to go, recession over.
Right? Yeah, it's so simple.
And why do you need a national bureau for that? Why can't you just have one person?
They got to be doing a lot. I know they do studies and research on a bunch of that.
Are you fucking serious? You playing politically correct now?
No.
You've been doing this show for years.
I'm not saying.
Name one report you've ever heard come out of the National Bureau of Economic Research.
None. I'm not saying, but hold on. They're doing some. Are they?
Yeah, you don't know. Let's go ahead.
I'm on the website.
Yeah.
I'm on the website.
Please tell me what they do.
The National Bureau of Economic Research. Okay, they're conducting.
It's a bad start.
Nonpartisan economic research.
Not political economic research. Great. Thank you for that.
Business cycle data information. New this week.
Okay, what is it?
Working papers. Oh, let's go. Explore working pages. Here's the first one. Toward an understanding of the political economy using field experiments in policy making.
What the fuck does that have to do with?
What the fuck are y'all doing over there?
Recession or no recession?
Next one. Beyond somebody's name. Can firearm training replace local discretion in concealed carry permitting?
Why is that? What?
What do you guys do? Why are you dabbling into this?
National Bureau of Economic Research.
Firearm training replace local discretion in concealed carry permitting.
Why is that economic research?
What are y'all doing? We're not. I'm not making this up. This is straight off the website.
Are they doing something else?
And right here, look, new. All these are new. This is a new study, a new research point. Knowledge suppression and resilience under censorship. 3-century book publications in China.
Who needs that research?
What the fuck, man?
Who's like, oh my God, I needed this research. Thank you so much.
You know what? Elon and Ramaswamy.
That's the first group you cut right there.
They got to go here first.
You don't even AI for this.
This is easy work.
Yeah, GDP negative, great. GDP negative, great. Equals recession.
Done. Yeah.
All the rest of this firearm shit, nobody cares. I can guarantee you 3 people have read that report.
Why aren't they reviewing CPI, PPI, all that? Like, they should be producing their own SCP every single month.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. But we don't.
We don't. Waste.
We don't. Well, that's the show, kids.
That is the show. Good job, man.
Yeah, you got ice in your veins. Yeah.
This is the mellow.
What does that mean?
3 to the dome. Oh, it's so good.
3 to the dome?
They can't see me. They can't see me. There was another good one. The one that all the kids, Adam does this to me in the backyard sometimes. They'll score, and then he'll put his hand like down, like, too little. You're too little.
But he's little.
I know. But it's like, I just need to insult you, that you are not big enough. You need to be bigger.
I want to make
you
feel small.
Yeah, no. Like, I know that I'm small, but like, in order for you to guard me, you need to be way bigger.
But what if they didn't go to the post? Then
that's the thing. No, you drive past somebody and you lay it, and the guy tries to block it, and you couldn't block it because he got it over you. He's like, you're too little.
So basically, in order to watch basketball, you need to learn sign language.
Exactly.
That's too much work.
There's all kinds. Yeah.
I don't have the energy for this anymore.
Steph's a good one. Steph has a really good one.
I don't want to know it.
It's good.
No.
He did it in the Olympics.
What?
Really? When he makes like the game clinching ceiling 3.
He does a good night.
He does a good night. Go to sleep. I put you to bed.
Why can't you just make a shot? Like why with all the extra gestures?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like every rapper's got to be like, when they start.
They need the hype man.
They need they need the intro themselves. Like, everybody makes a weird sound when they start.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. We should start every podcast like that.
We should. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
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 JP. DJ Khaled. Yeah.
And another one.
Yeah, see? They all have their thing.
We got it. Yeah, we
And
did.
for
We did
no
our own
reason-
thing.
Like, when did that become a thing where everybody's got to have like their own sound when they start?
I found there's some really cool stuff with this, by the way. So go back and do yourself a favor. This is actually kind of cool.
I don't want to do this already.
So every DJ has their own intro, right? You got back in the day it was Who Kid. It's like Who Kid,
You
right?
shouldn't do that.
Or
Yeah.
DJ Khaled is and another one,
Yeah.
right? All these DJs have their own thing.
Uh-huh.
DJ Mustard, all that, right?
I don't know who DJ Mustard is, but all right.
Come on, man. He's in on the whole Kendrick Drake shit. Okay. Anyways, you don't know.
Okay, sure.
So Pharrell, which I know you like.
Yeah, I do.
Right? Okay. Cool guy, right?
Got a little weird.
Yeah. I mean, I don't vibe with all the stuff, but you get what I mean. I don't know.
Yeah.
We can't co-sign. I don't know if
He's creative.
I don't know if he's been to Diddy parties. I can't co-sign yet.
I don't think that he has.
Come on.
He doesn't strike me as a Diddy party guy. I feel like if he went to a Diddy party, like,
Right. He's out early.
yeah.
Yeah, he's getting his
He's got a
his
wife,
beauty sleep.
kids. He seems to
But
be
his
mature
thing is because he raps, but he also known for making beats
as part of the Neptunes.
as part of the Neptunes, right?
Yeah.
So when he produces beats, there's a very clear-cut 4-beat distinction. If it's the same beat in a row 4 times, that's his signal. So it's not a lyric or something that he says to signal this is mine, but it's always like a dun 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 dun, and then it goes in or whatever the beat is. And I thought it was really cool. When somebody told me that, I went back and listened to all the Pharrell songs I have on my iTunes, and I was like, God damn, he does do that shit.
Yeah. Every single one of them has that. Intro.
Every single one has like a 4-beat progression,
Uh-huh.
and then it goes right into the song.
Yeah, that song. And I'm happy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the same when it starts,
Yep, he does that.
Yeah.
And that one too. Yeah, that was one of the ones I checked.
Yeah. Every single one of his songs was like that way. He
Yeah.
is,
The one with Snoop Dogg where he just drop it like it's hot.
Yeah.
That one he does it in that one too.
And then there's a Lego movie coming out with him about his life that's coming out.
About
That
his
was-
life?
Yeah, it was weird. He is
A Lego movie about his life.
Yeah, so all Lego characters are all him and people around him in his ecosystem, but it's a Lego movie about Pharrell's life.
This sounds like the coolest thing ever.
And it's coming out. And it's got a whole Pharrell based soundtrack. And it starts off with the same 4 beats intro.
No
Yeah,
way.
yeah. I don't know how that deal got brokered. Can you imagine he's like, "Oh, yeah.
That's brilliant,
I'm
though.
creative director of talk about a weird life arc. I'm creative director of Louis Vuitton. I'm now embracing country western as part of my style aesthetic. And I'm chopping it up in Paris and Milan and I'm in this ecosystem.
Right.
I'm a very popular producer, rapper. I'm in tight with that space. I'm very much into fashion, obviously. I feel like a Lego movie comes next for me. Like, how did that plug happen?
Yeah, he's just gonna sit back. Yeah, oh, that's pretty cool. I can't
When your
wait.
brand's that big, where this is what you're touching, like, come on,
He made it.
like you did something right.
He won.
Yeah,
He won.
it's incredible.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Well,
You got anything else?
speaking of losing, shall we call it a wrap?
Good night, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Oh, good job.
Wait, old school?
Yeah, goodbye.
Yeah.
I don't like
I'll give it. 7.